The July 12th, 2021 Ohio County Board of Education meeting is called to order at 6 p.m. All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody. Today, Ms. Norton is joining us via the phone. Ms. Adderholt is unable to join us. Mr. Chakras and Ms. Carter, myself, and Grace constitute a quorum, so we can move forward with our business. Dr. Miller, do you have superintendent's information for us?
Yes, I'm happy to announce that summer school is going fantastic. I had the opportunity to stop by Ritchie School today and talk to some pre-K Ohio County children, and they're working on STEM projects, but it looks like school. The classrooms were full, the teachers were enthusiastic in teaching, and it was really just a really good feeling. So happy about that. WTOB 9 recently did a piece on Madison Elementary School. We were very happy to, I believe Mr. Jones was able to show them around Madison and all of the great work that has been done there. Tony M. Music had a performance for our Elm Grove students. It was held at Philbar, so we were grateful that he was able to spend some time with those students. And finally, I'm very, very pleased and honored to share our Stifle Awards were given, and I'm very grateful Mr. Saunders and Mrs. Stamp has worked closely all year long to make sure that we were able to have Stifle Awards given. The awards are given to children in grades 5 through 12. 218 students with a total amount of $134,440 were given to Ohio County students. So we're very, very grateful for the Stifle Awards and all that does for our students as they matriculate through our schools. I'm grateful, and I look forward to what that'll look like next year. Hopefully we'll be in person. So Mr. Saunders, thank you for all the work that you've done. And please let them know how grateful that we are since we couldn't do it in person this year.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Any questions for Dr. Miller? All right, let's move on to Moments for Mission. Pete, you want to kick us off?
Congratulations to all the Stifle winners. It seems like just yesterday that I won my Stifle prize.
Ms. Carter.
Oh, I would congratulate all the Stifle Award winners, and just really amazing that Stifle's had the foresight to provide this incentive for students, and an amazing program for our students. We're very grateful for it.
No question. Grace, do you have any moments for mission for us? You'll have to go off of mute.
Yes, I do. Wheeling Middle School had a cleanup day for their outdoor learning center, which is a really fantastic garden. And some folks from Trinity Lutheran, one of their partners in education, showed up and brought with them a whole batch of students that were visiting from the state of Washington, and they got in the act and helped clean up too. But the pictures are now on the Wheeling Middle Facebook page for before and after.
Thank you.
We're so grateful for all the help. And next week, probably within the next 8 or 10 days, they'll be having a community festival where people will be able to come over and get produce, one thing or another, from the garden.
Well, that's exciting. Thank you for sharing that with us. They're doing amazing things at Wheeling Middle. I'll echo the comments on the Stifles. And Pete, I never was a Stifle Award winner. I was misguided youth. I want to thank Mr. Crum for the hard work that he's been putting in on our apps for our transportation. I think that's going to make a world of difference. And there's so many unique things about Ohio County Stifle. You know, I grew up here, many of us had, and you begin to think that's normal. It's not. Most counties don't give away $134,000 to the kids that are achieving. Also, Mr. Crum, with your efforts with the energy savings and our work in the report last week, that there were significant savings, which helped support the purchase of that equipment. So all really good things happening. I'm excited to plan for school again as we come into the fall and not worrying about Well, there will always worry about pandemics as long as it exists, but it's not in the forefront of what we're thinking. Do we have any delegations today?
No.
Okay, thank you. So that takes us to item 4, reports and follow-up actions. Phase 2 Siemens security contracts. Mr. Jones, Mr. Crum, do we have some presentation?
Yes, thank you for allowing me to come in again. So what you have before you is the phase 2 of the contract that we put in place last year, which was upgrading all the security across the district. So phase 1 consisted of doing Wheeling Park High School and replacing all the cameras with new cameras and new cabling, putting all the backbone and the head end equipment in, cameras for the first and third floor of Wheeling Park High School. So what you have now is the second floor cameras for Wheeling Park High School, along with all of the previous schools that have been completed or are in the process of being completed. And Mr. Crum and I walked through all those 6 schools: Madison, Ridge Street, Ritchie, Triadelphia,
Steenrod, West Liberty.
Steenrod and West Liberty, yes. So we met with the administrators in all those buildings and looked for areas that they were still concerned with having some coverage, some video coverage. The majority of those are in stairwells, exterior entrances of the building. So once phase 2 is completed, along with Wheeling Park High School and the previous 6 schools, we should have a full and complete video management systems in place at all the facilities.
How many cameras are being installed?
In phase 2 here, we're looking at a total of 61 across the 6 previous schools, 57 at the high school. So after this phase 2 for the high school, there will be a total of 105 new cameras counting last year and this year.
That was going to be my question. So what coverage do we have now that we didn't have before the project began?
Mostly, like I said, stairwells, small little nooks and crannies where, people could potentially be hiding, or coverage in the gymnasiums, cafeterias, and exterior parking lots. That's what our focus
Yeah, and
has
it
been.
varied. At our elementary schools, there was not a whole lot of security cameras to start with. So the hallways are covered, the cafeteria areas covered, the gyms covered, the exterior around the building, making sure we have eyes on entrances and areas where kids may be playing in the playground, the parking lots, and those kinds of things. So we spoke with the administrators at the schools and said, we know what you have right now, but what else is needed? Where are some areas that can't be seen right now or that you're concerned where children could do things? And we used that to walk around the building and add additions to it.
So who has access to the data from the cameras?
The administrators in each building have access to their cameras in their building, and Mr. Crum and Dr. Miller, the head office, will have access to all of the.
So are they the administrators that allow access from other users?
Yeah, well, when we do the programming, they tell us who has access to it.
And then if somebody is added, they contact you to add additional users?
Correct. We would be able to program them in and give them the rights for their particular buildings.
In light of the amount of cyber attacks we've seen over the past year, I know at my firm we all had to do additional training on things to look out for. What assurances or what comfort can you give us that we're not having the wrong people gaining access to these cameras and suddenly we have the wrong eyes on our kids?
Well, I mean, we do have cybersecurity certification, and all of the networks are your own networks. There's nothing going outside of with your own network. And we do training as well. So we will be making sure all of the administrators are fully trained on the buildings and the network.
So from the systems that you're putting in now, you have a good history of them not being hacked? Do you have any metrics on that?
Well, we are using Access cameras, which is a manufacturer that's USA certified, so they are able to be put into government facilities. There are cameras out there that the government has said that you should not be putting in. There are 2 Chinese manufacturers. We make sure that we don't have any of those types of things here in the district, for sure.
Okay, I don't have any other questions. Pete?
Oh, I'm good.
Does this replace a lot of the system completely? Like a lot of us used to, will they be gone and it'll all be seamless?
Not after this year. They will still be in the existing buildings where the video systems have not been upgraded yet.
Okay, once
That is correct.
So phase 1 is complete.
Phase 1 is in the process of the cameras are being installed now at Wheeling Park High School.
Okay, and will that be finished by the time we start school in the fall?
Phase 1, yes. The cameras in the first and third floor at Wheeling Park High School will be completed.
So that, if I ask you about the vomitory doors at Wheeling Park High School, with the ones that are back in the alcoves, are those going to be covered when they come down out of the stairwells?
I'm not sure what doors those are.
Yeah, if you look at the front of the building, there's doors that are totally hidden. They come out of the stairways to the outside.
Oh, yeah. We do have cameras that are being moved from existing locations to the exterior, and there will be cameras on the stairwells on the inside of those.
Those doors are really not easy to monitor.
Right.
And
Yeah, we
walked around
identified
with,
that.
Mr. Doyle with those also.
Okay. Thank you. So I have nothing else. David, is there anything else that we need to know about
No,
this
we'll
project?
do something similar for phase 3. So the initial contract had phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And when we move on to each phase,
We
it
need
needs to be
another
brought
vote
before
to
the
go
board.
on to the next phase?
Yes.
So on the phase 2, we're looking at our middle schools?
It's
Phase 2,
actually-
they're actually listed in here. It's the existing schools that have been already upgraded, just adding
Okay.
additional cameras to them.
So what's the timeline of phase 2?
Phase 2 will begin, once, if everything is approved, we will start getting the cabling put in place during the summer, and then as soon as we can get the cameras installed, they will be completed. So it won't be this time next year. Everything will be done completed before that.
So, Mr. Crum, do you support moving forward with phase 2?
Yes, this ties in with everything that we've been doing with the DeZigo program. So they'll have Mr. Jones, Dr. Miller will have access to the cameras to the schools, the HVAC, and the fire systems that are going in.
Thank you. Dr. Miller, do you want to move forward with phase 2? Is that your recommendation to the board?
Yes, sir.
Hearing a recommendation from Mr. Crum and Dr. Miller, do I have a vote to move forward with phase 2 of the Siemens contract that's before us?
So moved.
I have
Second.
a first. I have a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you for coming down and making our kids, teachers, and facilities safer.
Absolutely, our pleasure. Thank you very much.
Is the special education camera system separate?
Yeah, that's separate and it has already been completed.
And was it funded by the state at all? Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Jones, you have a bond update today?
Yes, so a few things. At Bethlehem Elementary, they've completed the asbestos removal. And now the construction has begun up there for that project. Tridelphia and Steenrod, they're moving along quite well right now. Steenrod's cafeteria floor was just about completed when we were there Thursday or Friday, so that's just about done. They'll be out of there soon. Tridelphia Middle still has some work to do, but there are a whole lot of people there working, and I'm pretty confident, as David Crum is nodding as well.
Yeah,
that
they're working
we'll
with
be
us to make sure we're ready to go August 23rd.
good shape. Yep. And if we'll visit there, obviously, but that's a great project, and the cafeteria is amazing. Really happy with that project. Wheeling Park, I did not feel great last week. I feel really good after today. We're doing walkthroughs every day up there around 2 o'clock if anyone's interested to see progress. And today we saw a whole lot of progress from last week. So felt really good today when we left. Unfortunately, the field got delayed by a couple weeks. Nobody's fault here or Caston Baker. It was the turf company thought it would be here in their turf factory, wherever that is, a little short on labor and materials. So it's about 2 weeks, correct?
Yeah, they're
It'll be
saying around September 3rd. it should be
September
available.
3rd. It'll be done, which we were thinking the middle of August. So a couple, 2 to 3 weeks. But that's looking great. If you haven't been up there, the field's ready for turf. The dugouts are almost done. The press box is being constructed. The bathrooms are ordered. So all that's going very well. And then just wanted to check to make sure that we were all still good at the next board meeting to be at Bridge Street. Do a tour at 5.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So maybe you can cover that at the end just to make sure. And Jessica will be there and talk about the problem. We'll walk the building, and anybody from the public that would like to see Bridge Street's completion and all the different, a lot of things are roofing and windows and things like that, but there are some good things to see inside, especially the maker space that's getting a lot of use right now. It's amazing. It's what we hoped for about 3 or 4 years ago when we started designing all these. It's finally coming to fruition, and if you see all the kids over there and all the things they're making with Miss Shea, it's incredible. So it's exciting to see that actually happening.
And the murals,
The what? Oh yeah, and those as well.
those are
You
outstanding.
might get to make a coaster or something over there next week, right? At the end of the, we'll maybe make something over there. So yeah, everything's going well. The closer we get to school, the more stress we have, but we'll be
Well, it was
ready to
nice
go.
that our last heavy rain didn't result in flooding, at least at Steenrod.
It did not, however. Instead of coming from the ground up, it came from the ceiling down at Wheeling Park. So we have a lot of damage there in the gym C and the weight room, some of the locker rooms, which are clear for their renovation. So we're working through that now to order new weight room floor, and we're going to need a new gym floor in gym C. It was really, really bad up there.
Because of the roof, the roofers were working on that roof?
Oh, no, it was from before.
And we are putting a new roof on it?
No, we're not putting a new roof on right now.
No, there was so much water that came off of the metal pool roof and the fitness metal roof, and it overwhelmed the drains and came up over and out of the drains down the side and all over the inside.
We do have a plan to get that looked at, though, to see if there's a better.
Yeah, we've already spoken to Manspletto. They're going to add a couple more drains. H.E. Newman's going to add some plumbing that comes out the side and goes straight to a 12-inch catch basin area, as opposed to going through some of the smaller 4-inch areas and underneath the building.
Down to Woodsdale. We're going to push it all down to Woodsdale
Yes.
community.
Thanks.
I know
Thank
you
you,
guys are
Mr.
dealing with that
Mr.
a lot
Jones.
anyway. Yeah.
What's this ad in front is right up here?
That's a water, what was that? The big
That's the water vault, so where the water's coming in from the city and goes to the school and separates to give us our sprinkler system and the main water into the building. So it's something that's required.
Is it underground? Or you can sit on that?
98% of it will be underground. There'll be a concrete pad that we are going to paint and put picnic furniture on.
Oh, okay.
That could be a seated area.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
thought at first it was a gazebo, but it's square. It's not round. Yeah, it's something. It would be neat. It would be a neat place to put some
Yes.
shade areas,
Yes.
but yeah.
So is Triadelphia moving on pace as far as scheduling?
Yes.
Excellent. Any questions for Mr. Jones relating to the bond update? Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Miller, personnel.
Yes, I'm very, very excited to introduce many new employees. We're going to start with Lindsay Black, who's being recommended for a position as a 200-day countywide special education multi-categorical teacher with endorsement in autism assigned to Ritchie Elementary School.
Over there to the right.
Front row. So if you could just stand up and introduce yourself and
Hi, I'm Lindsay Black. I'm super excited to get started in this position and I'm going to the classroom.
Well, welcome aboard. Great to have you.
Ashley Clatterbuck is being recommended for a position as a 200-day mathematics teacher assigned to Wheeling Park High School. And Miss Ashley has been teaching, I think, every summer program we have offered. Is that correct?
Pretty much. It seems like it anyways. I've been at Bridge Street, I've been at Ritchie, doing the math interventionalist thing, and then I'm excited now to start at Park, so I'm excited to get back to where I'm in high school, so.
Well, now you know we're watching you every time you go someplace with all those cameras. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Doug.
Brandy Moore is being recommended for a position as a 200-day mathematics teacher assigned to Wheeling Park High School.
Hi.
I'm coming from Brook, and so I'm going to be at Park.
Won't hold that against you.
We're glad to have you.
Yes, welcome aboard.
Kristen Ellsworth is being recommended for a position as a 200-day countywide instrument instrumental and general music teacher assigned to Ritchie Elementary School. And he even agreed he would sing if you wanted him to.
I don't know about that.
Christine said, are you the youngest? Oh,
For
my gosh.
service.
I think you came to kindergarten at my guys. Yes. I have
Correct.
to say that. Congratulations.
Dr. Miller, Board of Education, I'm honored and proud to be coming back to my roots in Ohio County to pay back the debt that I had given from my great teachers. So thank you for this opportunity.
Great to have you aboard. That's
I would also like to highlight our professional upgrading degrees. Chelsea Jordan from a Master's plus 15 to a Master's plus 30. Jacqueline Kedash, a Master's plus 15 to a Master's plus 30. And Regina Pollard, a Master's to a Master's plus 15. We'd also like to highlight our service personnel retirements. Carolyn Schreiner is retiring from a position as a 200-day cook server assigned to Wheeling Park High School effective June 30th. Ms. Schreiner has been employed with the Ohio County Schools for 10.5 years. Kevin Shepard is retiring from a position as a 261-day custodian assigned to Ritchie Elementary School effective June 30th. Mr. Shepard has been employed with the Ohio County Schools for 22 years. Also like to welcome our service personnel recommendations. Chase Barch is being recommended for a position as a 200-day, 8-hour straight shift cook server assigned to Wheeling Park High School. Nope. Okay. Shelley Brigham is being recommended for a position as a 200-day, 8-hour straight shift cook assigned to Wheeling Park High School. David Doherty is being recommended for a position as a 261-day custodian handyman with flexible schedule every 6 weeks at Wheeling Park High School. Who is here this evening?
Hey, David, I've been a part of Ohio County since I was probably 4 years old. I've always wanted to work for Ohio County Schools, so this is step one. Thank you for your job. Appreciate it.
welcome aboard, David. Bless you over there.
Doug Fugate is being recommended for a position as a 200-day bus driver assigned to bus 1542. And finally, Ray McKenzie is being recommended for a position as a 200-day bus driver assigned to bus 2040. And all other personnel as noted.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. Are there any questions for Dr. Miller on the personnel matters? Hearing none, all those in favor, may I have a motion to accept Dr. Miller's recommendations as presented?
So moved.
Second.
I have a first and a second. Any further comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Dr. Miller. All right, we're to the consent agenda, and since my best good friend Steve is not here today, I'm not going to ask for paid bills to be pulled off. Does anybody want anything else pulled off for discussion? Not hearing any. May I have a motion to accept the consent agenda items A through D as presented? I have a first. May I have a second?
Second.
First and second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Board member comments. Chris, you want to kick us off?
I'd just like to welcome all our new employees. It's always great to see 9 new faces, and we're really glad to have them.
The Pete?
As well as Chris said, welcome to our new employees. I don't know, I'm not sure, but I might have had 1 or 2 of you as students. Okay, I thought so.
I was in your homeroom for 4 years.
Okay.
Oh, Pete. Jeez.
Yeah, that is my part of the alphabet.
Grace, you have anything for us as a board member comment?
Just looking forward to the time where we can start visiting the schools and having our board meetings out in the community.
Thank you, and I have nothing to add, but I will on the future meetings, as Grace just mentioned, on Monday, July 26, 2021, we will be at Bridge Street Middle School. We will have a tour at 5, and the meeting will begin at 6 o'clock. The next meeting will be August 9th, 2021. It'll be a regular meeting at 6 p.m., and the venues to be determined. We will probably be visiting another school, and that will be the same on August 23rd. We're going to try to visit the various schools, look at the work that's been done, and highlight that for our community and see where your tax dollars are being spent. There being no further business before the board, this meeting is adjourned at 6:24